wait for the file manager for a bit. We have Kagani and also Nadine not present yet in this room. Nadia, can you help me? Okay.
Already recording.
Yeah, already recording, yeah? Uh, Justin, do you know where Kagani is? Actually, Nadia, okay, Kagani is there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen on the guest card discussion, and let's talk about some of the dependencies first. I believe that there are some dependencies from even from 2 weeks ago. Katani, I believe you didn't attend the squad scrum previously, but there is a dependency for you to make sure that the review is already in the dash, like confirm to product development team as well. Uh,
Okay.
do you have visibility on this,
Uh,
Katani?
Oke, thank you Vidi. Ya, I check for the negatif is masuk, tapi yang positif itu masih ada error di JSON. Bagi aku follow up ini sama Nadia mungkin mingguin lagi ya.
Okay. Jadi there are still reviews that have not been registered in the database. Yeah?
Actually, let me to try to confirm that. So I checked on our database. So actually, most of the reviews already there for the all the negative and also the positive one, but only on Redash it only shows the negative one. When we try to, if you open the comment section there, Fidi,
Yep.
I actually attached some picture. Yeah, it's only showing the negative one. So if we want to click the positive reviews, I think there's some error on the code or the JSON data.
Oh, okay. I remember this one. This is because there are some reviews that have emojis, and it causes like yeah, JSON no response, right? Anyway, let's make sure that we have the, because there are also one issue that I also mentioned in the all hands this morning, that the some of the breakdowns of the reviews are not present and it cannot be classified by Hansen's tool from BI. So let's work on that as well, yeah. Okay, because this has been going on for 2 weeks. Let's put this as a dependency, Nadia, on today's dependency for the product development team to make sure the data consistency on Redash on review. Okay. Okay. After you've done that, let's mark this as red, and let's change the status to complete so we don't have to go back to this particular row. And also the SLA evaluation proposed by BI Katendi. Any follow up on this one?
Okay, yeah, that's already the what's called more accurate ya with Hansen. For the SLA evaluation-nya itu
Or guess repeating guess.
for for the repeater, we still what's called inspect first gitu, VD gitu. How to detect that? Currently, just got what's called see from the bigger how many times dia booking. But I think we need to make the tools first before the propose the SLA gitu.
Okay. So the dependency is on the tool itself to measure the KPI for guest repeater ya. Repeater
Is it
guest ya.
possible apa nggak for the toolsnya first, baru habis itu kita propose SLA?
Looking at past data, something like that.
Yeah.
You want to see the data first, right? Okay. Maybe
Yes.
we have one BI here, Hansen. Over to you, Hansen. Is this KPI already recorded, like inspected from using Redash?
Yeah, already inspected.
Okay, so can you pass the link to Katendi so that he can evaluate whether the SLA will be approved or not from the transformation side?
Oh, okay.
We did mention this, right? We did discuss this last week on BI discussion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's follow up with this after Hansen passed the data to Katendi.
Yep.
So this will be, let's mark this as red. And Nadia, can you put this as another dependency for transformation to inspect the SLA? Just copy this to the current one. And let's mark this as red first. So we don't have to go back to this row. So two dependencies, one for transformation and one for product development, yeah? All good, Nadia? Oh, good, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Next we have another dependency on over to awareness, Kagani.
Okay, in this one, first, I have a meeting with Hansen right, regarding market research right, Airbnb campaign in Bali. But I follow up to Hansen. Hansen said that is delegated to Icha. So I'm not sure. So how is the update for this one over to Hansen?
Yeah. Maybe Hansen or Icha would like to confirm on this one.
I don't think this one has been delegated to me. I just heard by today. So I was a bit confused when Kagani asked me about it.
Okay, over to
Over to
Hansen.
Hansen.
Yeah. So like on the last week of the PI Scrum, the uh the PI discuss about the market research, but then it going to the SPO, and then I thought it going to delegate to ITA fully, like for the market research and the SPO. So I thought it was delegated to ITA, uh, just now I see on the PI chapter PI project PI discussion management, there's a new topic from Kak Lilis that was the uh, the market research, like uh, 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 market research. Where is it?
In Bali.
It's about assessing
Yeah,
market
yeah,
potential, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
about
Yeah.
about market
And so it's
potential
kind
in
of
Bali.
different.
Okay. So Kagani, I think it's best for you to inquire Liz on this. To figure out which of the BI members she delegates this to. Also stating the thing that you actually want to achieve from this discussion, like what market research in Airbnb campaign for Bali, what do you want to achieve?
Okay.
Okay, so let's put this as another dependency for awareness chapter, Nadia, for Kagani to have a discussion with Lilis on her delegate for this particular topic. Okay, next to the maintenance for price website listing, I believe it's going to be passed to PD for the tool, yeah, on the development of the tool, yeah. Okay, now over to Nadia. Then, when do we think we'll complete this tool? Are there any? Is the card already available in the guest squad Trello board
Which one? I'm sorry.
for the tool of managing prices in
Oh,
WordPress?
yeah. Wait, my comment is not there. Actually, I already put my comments that. So, we already put the backlog on for WordPress, and probably we will try to deliver by next week.
Next Monday, yeah, I
Yep.
believe,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Nadia, for that one. So this discussion is already managed, yeah. So this will help. This tool will help awareness chapter not to maintain this manually, but once BI already set the prices in Tokit, it can be transferred into WordPress as well. So this reduces the bandwidth for awareness chapter. Okay, thank you very much. From conversion, I believe we have one dependency from Nadine and also Gray previously. Last week, we did discuss that there is a problem in adoption issue from the conversion chapter. What is the result of the discussion?
Um, Hello, Fidi.
Yes,
Good
Nadine.
afternoon. Yes, so yeah, this has already been socialized to all the team actually about it's about moving the Instagram, right? Moving the guests from Airbnb to Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
it's already been socialized, and it's actually now getting better, even though we're actually still have um some of the practices, not only one fixed practice. We still want to actually apa namanya, lihat dulu sih, Vidi. Nanti paling for the fixed one akan di decide minggu ini. Tapi for the one yang sangat ekstrim yang kejadian di minggu lalu, we already discussed that, and it's not implemented anymore right now, and it's getting better juga conversionnya di Airbnb. We already
Okay.
see the result.
So I should reconfirm. So this is really adoption issue, meaning that there is already a tool for this, but there's already documentation within the conversion chapter, conversion documentation.
Yeah, but previously the documentation isn't perfect juga sebetulnya, Vidi.
Mhm.
Itu yang salahnya juga. Dan sekarang we're trying to evolve. Jadi mau lihat dulu ideasnya dikumpulin juga dulu. Regarding this, soalnya ada beberapa yang menurut aku nggak masalah juga gitu. Tapi nanti di fixkannya within this week.
Okay, so there will be, because this is the idea, so this is not the process yet. This will be an MVP, right? To
Yep.
filter like how to filter probably which idea is best to be
Yes,
settled as a
Vidi.
guideline. So
Yep.
can we, is the like experiment card so that we can clearly track it available already in conversion chapter list in Trello?
Not in the card sih, Vidi. Ini baru beberapa. Paling nanti dimasukinnya di Koda dulu. For in that specific guideline about moving the guests from Airbnb to Instagram.
Okay, this is for everyone as well in Discord, yeah. Because if we're trying something new, and we don't know whether we don't know whether this will for sure result in something positive. This is actually still an experiment, right? So it is suggestion according to guideline. We have to create an experiment card from using Trello first, and after it's already settled, we move it to documentation in Coda. Because we want to measure first, but whether this actually works or not, right? I think awareness chapter already does that like several times already. Nadine, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so start with experiment first because it's still not a process yet. It's still a campaign or an MVP. Make a Trello card, and then we can after 2 weeks we do this. It's good and it satisfy the SLA or the objective. Then we can include it in Coda. Make sense, yeah?
Sure.
Okay, so can we add like one more dependency for conversion chapter to what is this particular issue, Nadine? Moving guests from Airbnb to IG, yeah?
Yes.
Like from OTAs to direct booking. Okay, so one dependency to conversion chapter on experiment card in the guest squad Trello board on the tool to guide the transfer of guests from OTA to direct booking. Already okay? Okay, done for that one. Okay, so that's the result of the discussion from between the conversion chapter in the guest squad. And
There is one more kan?
yes, in the for the
about the
agents, correct. This one, yeah.
Itu over to Gray.
Yes, over to Gray.
Oh yeah, I actually have a delegated agent to Irma, and I believe we have made some catalog for the agents, right?
Yeah, I have. It's in the comment section.
Yep.
Yes. And also for, I think Irma have approached some agents with the messaging that she has made. So like she tried to reach out and re-engage with the agent.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 out of the 3 agents, 1 is still waiting for response, and 2 said they prefer the previous catalog.
Okay, so that's the user's perspective, yeah.
Yeah, so which are like priceless. And they said because on WhatsApp they can't use a search button and they need to scroll down to see the catalog.
Okay, so that's actually an insight from the user. This is an example of when we think that it's actually a good innovation, but then the user doesn't think so. But yeah, maybe the awareness chapter over to Kagani. This is related to price catalog. What do you think about this, Kak?
Reconfirm again to Gray. So agent prefer to PDF.
Excel sheet.
No. Kayak COVID price sebelumnya.
Yeah, Excel sheet.
Yep. If you actually, I don't know if Kagani is on agent sales Slack. Irma actually sent some screenshot from the agent of the feedback. Actually. Yes. about the adoption of the new catalog.
So they prefer on spreadsheet. Terus berarti kayak ada kolom di column of villa, property type, number of bedroom, and then location, and then price, something like
Instead
Yep.
of WhatsApp business catalog.
Yes, and I think instead of because on COVID price or token race, we usually put property names, correct? I think in the previous catalog, we didn't put the property names because, well, it's prohibited in case the agent reach out to the property itself. But if I'm not mistaken, we put our Airbnb link of the
Yep.
property.
Okay.
Yep. I
Okay,
think if I'm
so
mistaken, that's how the previous catalog is like.
yep, so that's one of the input from the user. Maybe Wei and Kagani can discuss after this, yeah, on what is the next action. Do we want to still proceed with the WhatsApp catalog or the previous catalog, which follows the user's perspective? That makes sense?
Sure.
Okay. And so I would like to confirm to Irma then. Irma, so you'll be handling the agent sales, yeah?
Yeah.
And in this case, are there any part of the documentation that we have now pertaining to agent sales that is updated or maybe improved, or is it still like it's already there and we just need to readopt it?
I think when I have conversation with one of agent, she want like more updated, and with the new property, many agent has interest with a new property, but still have to update it about the price like this too.
Okay, maybe I'll confirm. Thank you very much, Irma, for the answer. I'll confirm with Nadine. Do we have a guideline to engage with agents right now from the conversion stage?
For the agents still ini sih, still under development sebetulnya, Vidi.
Under development, yeah. So this still okay. Sales and agent unfinished. So this is also an experiment, yeah.
Yep.
And it's still empty as well. So let's also attach the proposed method and measure the effectiveness using the experiment card. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes,
So
yes.
that after it's done, settled, then we add it into documentation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Great. This I believe already delegated to Mutia, ya.
To Irma, Nadine. So, Miss Secretary, you can tag Irma for the to make the Trello card actually for the experiment. Yep.
Okay. Let's settle on the due date and everything. Outside of the meeting, I'll check the Trello board. But please fill in the project card first, yeah, Irma, yeah. That's one dependency for you from the conversation chapter. Sounds good. Any questions so far? I think we completed our dependencies from days ago. So let's go back. Yep, that's all the dependencies from last week. And we have created the new dependency that have been discussed. That is result from the previous discussion. Any questions for now? None? Yes, Kagani. Yes,
So
Kagani.
I'm still wondering, so if the user doesn't feel comfortable using WhatsApp Business Catalog, so why the first time we create that catalog? So kayak udah dibikin banyak listing, tapi ternyata nggak dipakai. Itu kan sayang aja gitu loh.
Okay, the initial idea, ya itu makanya pas kita start eksperimen ya, kita kan nyoba gitu kan ya. Kalau kita bisa coba, harusnya skillnya karena itu MVP, we should try it like just a little bit first, and then see the results, and then expand it, scale it up, right? So that's the ideal stage of an experiment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Kagani, for the question. Now let's move on to the evaluation of SLA. Let's start with the awareness chapter. Over to Kagani. Are there any progress on the SLA for this week?
Okay. You can open the comment section. Video actually on the topic on the
guest funnel management. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So for the awareness, start from Airbnb. Looking at the listing view and inquiry numbers. So the conversion from listing view to inquiry, we got 0.15 It's actually increased 0.05% compared to previous period, but it's still not achieved the SLA. Second, conversion from listing view to instant book. Actually, we already passed the SLA. We got 0.05%, so it's achieved. And for the next action for the Airbnb, first is I need to coordinate with Mas Bayu to help me to show Airbnb listing view per week on readers, ya Mas Bayu, because we already have the data, but we need to show it on readers. So instead of per month, we want to monitor it per week. Yeah, just coordination with me and Mas Bayu about that. And the second one, we have a meeting with Lilis last week, me, KW, and Lilis. So we will integrate daily content doctor with single property optimization. So we will prioritize to inspect inquiry and listing based on BI suggestion. So if we do daily content doctor kan random property di hari itu, tapi kita mau fokus di particular property only. And the third one, I found some opportunity that we still able to optimize, which is on laptop friendly workplace, Wi-Fi, and SC. So it's supposed to be 100%, right? So it's about the apa namanya Airbnb facilities, something like that. Ya, masih ada yang belum dicentang gitu ya, di sebelah kanan itu ada properti yang sebenarnya bisa laptop friendly tapi belum dicentang. Okay, I think just that for Airbnb. I will continue to Facebook. Okay, so by looking at the graph, so the number of inquiry increased last week due to we actively prioritize posting new onboarded property that doesn't get any booking on Airbnb. So that's why the last week there is increase 38 itu. And if we're talking about the the listing view, you can see on the screenshot below video ya itu, especially on the Lilis account. So there is kayak meningkat 4 kali lipat on the Lilis. So on the 11th January on the Lilis account we got 2,200, and then just by today the listing view is the click on listing is got 8,000. So there is a huge increase. So on this one, we need to coordinate with Jesselyn and KW to what's going on this account. Why it is so very high? Okay.
So for now, we don't know yet, yeah, why it
still
increases 4 times.
But perhaps Gray, there is raise the hand.
Yes. Well, I input Facebook inquiry every day, right? For Lilis, the difference is, I think it's because Mifila Kayu Tulang listing is there. I think that's the highest property, if I'm not mistaken, in Facebook Lilis. So the inquiry just keeps coming for Mifila Kayu Tulang, and I think that previously happened as well.
Okay.
Before we mark as sold, Mifila Kayu Tulang.
The inquiry quality, Gray, is it still noise or better?
It's better compared to before. But if I'm not mistaken, Kagani, I think the maintenance right now is, I think you said it on the Slack. When you maintain the price, it become unlist and relaunch. So is it like the listing got deleted and relaunched again when you maintain it? So I think that could be one of the factor as well. So it kind of goes up again as like the newest property.
Yep. Okay. But on the inquiry quality is getting better, yeah?
Yep. But some of them are also still coming from one people, but it's much lesser compared to before. Yep.
Okay. Got it. So the description, the caption part, I think it's working. And I think it's that for the Facebook. From the Instagram, to be honest, I don't have any much visibility. Perhaps Jesselyn could give some update about Instagram campaign.
Yep, over to Jesselyn.
For Instagram, actually, we've been doing the same thing as the previous week, so nothing has changed much. But I think we are getting less inquiries from Instagram, but I'm still investigating this one. Maybe over to Kanadin, how much inquiries do we actually get from Instagram this week? Yeah.
It's 8 inquiries, Jocelyn.
Yes, thank you, Kanadin. So yeah, we are definitely getting significantly less inquiries on Instagram, but I'm still trying to check why.
Okay,
That's
activity
the
wise.
inquiries. I'm sorry. Yes, that's 8 inquiries that counted. It's the qualified inquiries for asking the property, yeah. But there is actually some of the others inquiry about MBKM and everything.
Okay, yeah, but for the case funnel itself, it's 8, right? Okay, Justin, back to the usual question. Do you think is a tool issue or an adoption issue?
I'm not sure because I've been doing the same thing as the previous week. My guess for now is perhaps it's because the previous 2 weeks was like the high season, right? So we're coming down. But also with that hypothesis, we should be nearing Chinese New Year next, right? So I think maybe it's because the Omicron virus is it's it's getting higher each day. So people are kayak less willing to go traveling, but I'm not sure because I'm still checking it out. Maybe over to Kak Nadine.
Okay, over to Nadine.
Yes. Actually, I just want to reconfirm if there is still a link to on Instagram that can direct the guest to our WhatsApp. Previously, we have that link to connect to air support too, right? Because now the number of inquiries that coming to know apa namanya air support itu cuma 1 sih this week. Is it still there the link or it's been deactivated or what?
Yep. So that will be have a connection with the changing of the number from Kagani. It's already changed in Instagram to the appropriate number.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that might be the cause.
Instagram, usually the link for the WhatsApp is put in the story when we repost the property post, right? This is also
Yes.
connected to what I asked Mas Gani last week on which number. Yeah, we don't put it on the bio anymore because we have the contact button, right? But the number for Instagram is air support number 2, and I don't think that one is business account, right? So we can't put it in the button, in the contact button. Mas.
Call to action video, call to action button. But we can fix it by next week.
Okay, so that's one dependency for the awareness team to fix the contact button. And just like what Mr. Jing mentioned just now to Jesslyn, so to figure out whether it's actually because of Omicron or not, we have to compare it to competitors. In Instagram analytics, is there a comparison to competitors just like in Airbnb? Or it's
I
just our
don't
data?
think so. It's just our account.
Okay. This is going to be difficult, but let's figure out whether it's actually like the real reason from that, yeah, whether it's tool issue, adoption issue, or external factor that we cannot control, and what can we do about it? Maybe this was one dependency to the awareness chapter to be discussed after this scrum.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we have to know for sure what is the issue here. Is adoption tool, or maybe it's the external factor that Justin mentioned just now.
Yep.
One dependency, yeah, Nadia, yeah. Okay. Then website, a lot of inquiry coming from live chat feature lately ya Kak Gani ya.
Yes. So we are looking live chat feature is working, but I think the one of the friction for HR is there is no phone number yet. So
Currently it's email.
Follow up with email, and I think that's require taking long more bandwidth. So I request to include phone number on the live chat. So it's requested to Nadia to PD team. Yep. Okay. So
Okay, so it's approved ya by PD team ya, Nadia.
Yeah. So it's dependency for the next week. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Let's set that to one dependency for product development to be reported by next week on website. Anything else, Kak Gani?
Yeah, the last one is just booking.com. So we are checking the listing. So a lot of listing has not been optimized on group opportunity center. Jadi masih ada kesempatan di sana gitu buat optimize. That's what.
Okay. Masih ada opportunity, and do we have the resource to allocate for Booking.com business? Booking.com is based on I think a bit lower priority, yeah, right
Yeah,
now, yeah.
priority, but I think just doing checklist, PD.
Okay, but in general, Kagani, just how you broke down per component. In general, how is the progress of the SLA, and like, is it still on track?
I believe it's still on track, PD, but by looking at the views, I forgot to summarize.
This is not the sum yet, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, not yet.
51, 270,
Tinggal dijumlahin sih itu.
ya tinggal cobain ya.
Yep.
But yeah, it's almost according to the SLA, and the biggest contributor for now is the Airbnb. But the one that is not working right now is the conversion still from views to inquiries.
Yeah.
Although there is an increase of 0.05%.
Yep.
And previously, we also discussed whether this is actually a tool or adoption issue, right? Are there any answers yet from the awareness chapter discussion?
Not yet. But for the adoption, I believe we always follow the current guideline, right? But the things that from other chapter, BD and CMTM that lately concerning is about some property doesn't working per particular property, right? So that one we still figuring out BD. So why is
Okay,
not?
still figuring out, yeah. Okay, maybe I would like to ask, validate to Mr. Jing in such cases, right? Where it seems that
Very good.
we have follow the guideline, and whether this should be like there should be another like assessor outside of the awareness chapter to assess this, or we can.
I think so in this case, because it sounded like Gunny wasn't really sure whether or not the guidelines were actually being followed there. So I think the first thing to determine is we really need an accurate, let's say, expert opinion on this, right? Are the guidelines actually being followed? Can we determine that? So that, I think, is back on us, right, on the chapter. So either the CL or the VCL needs to be able to assess that. Once, let's say, that has been confirmed correctly, then it's just an issue of, okay, do we change the guideline, or do we change the, actually, if it's been adopted, then we should probably change the guideline.
Yep, correct. So I think what I will suggest is, I think one of the issue is that when going back to the chapter meeting, Kagani, you can actually provide examples. Like in the conversion chapter, actually they do this, like they bring up like cases, right? Do you guys also bring up like example of listings along with the description and so on and so forth to be evaluated by the chapter itself? So that we can check, right, whether it's actually according to guideline or not. So bring up such cases as well to the chapter.
Sure,
Because I believe, yeah, DCL will be the expert in this sense to evaluate as well.
Let me ask Gani, actually, in this particular case. Gani, this issue that Vidi is bringing up right now, was that part of the chapter's discussion on Monday?
Supposed to be, yes, especially on Airbnb part, right?
But it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
That's where the squad to chapter communication has failed. So that's what's important. The squad discovers if there is information that the chapter needs to prioritize, and that is how we get that information across. So that is really the main purpose of having all 20 people here meet, right, to talk about that. So that needs to get onto the discussion board.
Okay.
Maybe we can have a second secretary that actually just does that, just ferries that discussion topic over to the chapter discussion board so that we will be able to resolve it before the squad meeting. Yeah. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So let's make sure that this topic is also discussed in the awareness chapter. And Kagani, can we have you to make sure that it's discussed, like all the dependencies, just to be brought up in the awareness chapter?
Yeah,
like with the issues.
Yep.
Okay. Let's check with the answers on this on next week. Yeah. Nadia. Yeah. Another dependence for the awareness chapter. Okay. I think any more questions for the awareness chapter? Yes, Bayu.
Okay, this is not related to the chapter itself, but related to the guideline. I just want to confirm. So I'm trying to implement this, the guideline ownership, basically. I want to make confirm that the guidelines under awareness and engagement would be supervised by Gani. Is that right? As the funnel manager. Okay. Okay. So basically, as you can see, there's a line there that says this guideline, and all of the guidelines in the sub page is owned by Gani as the funnel manager. Latest changes and inspection are recorded below. So Gani, please have a look at all of the guideline here below the awareness and engagement, and check if all of that is the latest and we still use that. If there's any guideline that need to be changed, you can write this down. For example, on this first line here, first entry, probably there's no changes, everything is still relevant. Or maybe next week you change something, or someone change something, they can write it down here, what they change, updated by who, and then it needs to be approved by you as the owner of this guideline.
Sure, Mas
Okay,
Bayu.
and that applies for all the chapters as well, right, Kaboy?
Yes, yes, I'm trying to get that, but yeah, one by one.
Let's try with awareness first, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, with all of other chapters as well, but I will follow the flow.
Okay.
This one is part of inspection, ya Mas Bayu. Inspection of.
Yep.
Yep.
Adoption.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaboy, for the feedback on the guideline as well. So yeah, that's that for awareness. Let's move on to the next funnel conversion over to Nadine. What is the progress of the SLA for this week?
Okay, thank you. So if you compare to the last week, which is a very significant decrease last week that happened within Airbnb, and after the discussions that we had in reservation team, and we're trying to fix that, actually we see the improvement as well. It's also also can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And also for the others, OTA besides Airbnb is also having some of the improvement, like websites and also Instagram, but also slightly decreased for Facebook. And agents is it's very significant actually, the decrease, but it's also about the supply, if I can confirm to Irma actually. And yes, somebody raised.
It's gray, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. I think I put it upside down. Website should be 20% and agent should be 7.14.
So it is opposite, yeah, like this.
Yep, correct. Yes.
But it's still,
okay.
yeah, there is okay. So
Yeah,
it's not
there's still
active, but
decrease.
there is a decrease in conversion rate for agent increase. Okay, thank you very
Yes.
much for the clarification, Gray. Back
Yes,
to Nadine.
and yeah, there's and the announcement is agent is already been delegated to Irma, and the Instagram campaign will be delegated to Dimas actually, our new reservation team, yeah.
Okay.
So today's will be my last day on being the campaign manager for the Instagram. So yes, that's basically it. Overall, it's increased before compared to the last week, and I think there is also some more improvement that can happen as well within Airbnb that can we observe for the result next week.
I see. In this sense, it's improvement or improvement in the adoption or improvement in the tool itself, Nadine?
Improvement in the adoption.
Adoption, yeah. Yeah, because we see that previously Airbnb ranges about 15 to 16%. Currently, from compared to last week, it's already improving, but it's not at that level yet, at 15 or 16% in general. But yeah, so improvement in adoption, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nadine. Actually, this is a very good significant improvement from last week, and it seems that the discussion within the conversion chapter work on the adoption as well. I am a bit curious though. What is the cause of the sudden how would I say, like how can there be sudden like change in terms of like suddenly it's not adopted in just 1 week? Is there any specific cause for that? Like, is there ambiguity in the documentation, or maybe what is the root cause?
Okay. Actually, many factors, VD. Things that I've been observing itu sebetulnya inconsistency of the coverage. VD.
Inconsistency of the coverage. Okay.
Ya, jadi sometimes itu mempengaruhi gitu. Now we already fix the coverage juga for some people. Jadi people that we have been separating host and reservation ya. Kadang tuh some because of unavailability of the reservation team, because of the shifting shiftnya itu, jadi sometimes the hosting team itu needs to
Campur
cover
lagi.
and
Yeah.
needs to cover and yang nggak bisa dipungkiri kadang kualitasnya berbeda,
Okay.
kualitinya berbeda, VD. Terus
Yep.
that's the things that we already fixed. It's one.
Okay.
And then waktu itu sempat because we have this is probably my fault as well as a senior. When we have the stable conversion, I reduce my intensity on inspections, and it happened because that's the thing that caused last week decrease basically COVID. That's probably
Interesting.
that's two things that I noticed.
Okay, thank you very much for the update, Nadine. For the first one, it's actually the first issue is actually already like we already have the documentation on that, but due to like some changes of the team structure, we revert back to the previous one, and now we're going back to the separating the host and reservation because it's already enough. Yeah, there's already a resource developed by the employee squad, so it's already settled. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, and then the second one, it's a leadership question. We can actually probably discuss that in leadership training discussion. Okay, thank you very much, Gray, for the update on that, and good job for the conversion team to at least try to get back on track. And there are also some projects that is currently being done from the conversion chapter in terms of agent, and also agent and which project again? Just now regarding the dependency. Oh, for agent and agent only, yeah. For the card, yeah. Nadine, yeah.
I think agent only, VD.
Agent only, yeah. Okay, so that will be that will I think that will help a lot because most of our luxury property usually comes from agent bookings, and since the agent bookings drop by a lot, we also see a drop of bookings in the luxury properties. Okay, are there any other updates, Nadine?
Not at the moment. That's it.
Not at the moment, yeah. So let's follow up with the dependency that we have for our conversion chapter next week, and let's follow up with the project as well. But thank you very much, Nadine, for the update. Let's move on to the next funnel, which is transformation. Over to Kak Tendi.
I think Mutia will.
Oh, Muti
Yeah.
will. Okay.
Okay. And for this week, the third week, the cancellation is actually increased. It's for my investigate is the cancellation is happened to the guests that will be staying in March, June, something like that. Not in the in this month. And one cancellation that I investigate is because they want to change location from Uluwatu to Canggu today happened. And for the gas extent decrease, for my investigate also, it's because they moved to another country. Actually the gas extent from the first week and second week, it's because the gas is already extend for like a couple times. And why this one is decreasing is because they already moved to another country, something like that. And for the gas certain is increasing for 0.5% because one gas is certain because they want to move to Ubud. Like that, Kavidi.
Okay. So in general, still within 5% gas extended. Yes, it's still within the SLA itself. But looking at the cancellation, actually, I would like to clarify. That's why you mentioned that there is one case where the guest would like to change area. What are our attempts in also providing this the property to the guest?
Yeah. Actually, the guests want to change area, but they booking from our property. So
Oh, they
yeah,
okay,
they didn't communicate with me before. They just cancel like that. And
but they still book our property.
yes, exactly.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. So it's not modification, but it's cancellation and another booking.
Mm.
Yes, over to Katendi.
Okay, thank you, PD. Yeah, I also got one case that actually on bigger, we input 2 times what's called guess at booking, and then because one it's right and then the other one is not
No,
right,
you still
so
cancel it.
I check the cancel. Is it effect on that
Of course, it does affect.
gap?
Maybe then we can have to confirm to reservation team. How is it possible that there is a double entry in the app booking? And is it like directly communicated to maybe PD team to be taken care of? Because I think if this kind of double entry, it's very dangerous for the recording of revenue and all that. Have you communicated this to the conversion team, Kateni?
Oh, yes,
Conversion team?
yesterday Gray I think know about the Jonas in the Tegal. So we I think one guest input by Gray, one guest input by Om Rafiq. So two booking with the same guest. So
Okay. Yeah, for sure. This is an issue, right? Nadine, over to Nadine. Do we have a solution for this yet? Over to Nadine.
Sorry, PD, I was lost. Gimana?
Oh yeah, double input. Yesterday was a case where there's an input from Gray and also Om Rafiq, and this is a potential threat because this will affect the data as well, right? Either from the revenue or either from the cancellation rate if we do cancel the booking. Is this an issue that you're aware of? That there is a double entry?
Sorry, I cannot get your voice clearly. Bentar.
Okay,
I
then
think
let's
I will
go
speak
to
on
Gray
behalf of
first.
Nadine.
Yep.
Yes, Vidi. Yes, Kak Tendi has talked to me, but he never tell that there is an effect. So he just kind of like confirmed there is a double entry.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just knew now.
Oh yeah.
So if it's like that, then I think it's more like an adoption issue and more clear dependencies, I would say. So I
Clear
think we need to
dependency.
fix on that. So if there is a booking already, we need to say like if the bigger is already there or not, for example, as simple as that. Yep.
Okay, so uh, any solutions from product development on this case? Because technically it's the same guest on the same exact check-in date. Are there a way to validate this data that is input by manually? Because yeah, as we know from manual input, there are risks of duplicate entries, right? Any thoughts from Nadia or Kabayu? Yeah.
Is it same booking ID?
Is it same booking ID? Yes. Because I would have thought that if it's the same booking ID, then it wouldn't
Yeah.
be accepted by the database, right?
Yep, it cannot be duplicate. So it must be different booking ID. So because it's not possible.
Yes. Over to Gray.
I probably need to check on that first.
Okay, please confirm and follow up with Nadia, yeah, because if the same booking ID can be imported in the database, then that's a major issue.
I
Because
will have a discussion maybe with Nadia about
yep,
this.
because we do have the guideline of how to include a booking ID for direct bookings, right?
Yep,
So it should
correct.
be the same, like the year, month, date, and also the name of the guest, and so on and so forth. But yeah, please confirm one dependency for the conversion chapter to confirm about the case of the double entry. Yeah, back to Mutia. On this case of cancellation, aside from the one that got cancelled, are there any specific like signs for probably this? Because you communicate with the guests when they cancel, right, Mutia?
Not all, Kak
Not
Vidi.
all. So
Mhm.
you just do sampling. Okay. So what is the current guideline for this in case of a guest cancel?
And
Like, do we have?
this one I'm not really sure. We have a guideline for approaching the guest cancel. Yeah, I think.
Okay, that's
Probably I'm
interesting.
going.
Yeah, Katani is not here. Yeah.
Yeah, Vidi. Yeah, I
Yes.
think we haven't got that guideline. So I think we need to create that guideline.
I see. So yeah, this is what I meant in terms of like consistency, right? We do ask about like the reasons for some guests who canceled, but not for the others. Yes, over to Mr. Jing.
All right, this is exactly what needs to go into the transformation chapter discussion now, 10D. All right, we need a guideline for what to do in the case of a cancellation. And this then, squad lead, is what we need to double check with next week, right?
Yep.
Did the guideline actually go through and did it actually solve the issue at hand?
Yep. For sure, for sure. So that's one dependency for transformation chapter, yeah, Nadia, yeah. To make sure that there is actually a confirmation upon cancellation to guests so that we can collect as much information as possible. And this can detect signs, like maybe if there are signs or maybe other reasons that we can improve from our side. Over to Katendi, any response?
Yes, Vidi. So we'll discuss this on the chapter.
Yep, correct. Pertaining to the guideline upon guest cancellation. So, any other questions for the transformation chapter? None. Okay. So, I think there are one case in the guest squad, like in the guest pipeline, where one of our employees actually booked with one of our property, and there's a broken pipeline between the reservation and the host. Yeah, and like this is basically the case where we are not adopting the guideline well. I believe the booking itself is not entered in bigger, and that's why the host is also confused whether we have to do like the normal hosting process. It's not even in the list basically, right? And this is from, if I understand correctly, this adoption issue. Yeah, over to Nadine. Do you have any visibility on this?
For this matter ya, yang the cancellation related.
Oh no, for Muti I think has the visibility. This is regarding the broken pipeline on like Kara actually booked with us last weekend, and the reservation guideline is not implemented on her. So this is the inconsistency in the implementation.
Which reservation guideline? I mean, is it clear gak? Maksudnya, did Ara send any
No,
more?
The booking is not inputted in bigger.
I believe Mutia can
Yes, Mutia.
Explain it. Because I believe Kak Ara reached out immediately to hosting team. So
okay, over to Mutia.
Yeah, so Kak Ara is actually direct booking with me in Slack, and after that I discussed with Kak Tendi since we give Kak Ara price that exclude BVV, so it's not including the BVV. We give the special price for her, and after that I talked to Kak Tendi, so we input in the bigger, and the result is don't have because Kak Ara is not including the BVV like that. And after that, since I know that Kara, I thought that it will be like treating the employee something like that, not like
It's differently.
Exactly. And after that, since I know Kara have visit Despacito or something like that, so I think Kara will be like directly check in to Despacito without any guideline like that, without any hosting.
Okay, yeah. In this case, it's actually a severe case of where we assume too much about like the guest because, yeah, that's a guess, right? This is an example. Like even for our employees, we are assuming a lot, you know. And what I think what's important from this is actually I did the discussion with Katendi already. There are some part of the guideline that we improve ya Katendi ya in terms of the there might be some ambiguity in the guideline itself, or just make it like even clearer and make it even more little, I don't know, make it even more clearer that we do not discriminate between employees and also
Vidi, let's stop right there. Let's call it
sir.
out for what it is, right? Let's stop going into this making tools better cycle. It's not the tool's fault. It's simply adoption, right?
Yep.
The way that all guests should be treated should be the same, whether it's an employee, the minister, whoever, right? So there's no point in keep on asking for better tools, better tools, better tools. We have to rely that our employees are smart enough to figure this out on their own, right? That they can actually adapt to uncertain situations. What core values are we adopting when we make these kinds of assumptions? I don't know, none, right? No core value tells you to make an assumption that because they're an employee, then we should not really take care of them or really think about what to do. So this is strictly a team management issue and is an adoption issue. So let's not call it anything else. Let's not just direct attention back to tools again. Let's fix the adoption where it needs to be fixed.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's true, Mr. Jing, that this is a case of a bad case of a lot of assumption in serving the guests, and this is for sure an adoption issue. But Katandi, has this been like discussed within the transformation chapter? Okay. For reservations, is it already clear on what the issue is in terms of the case with Kara?
Yep.
Yeah, hello.
Actually,
Hello.
it's still
Ah,
not. Uh,
Yes. To Gray.
to who do?
Gray from Gray is yes, but from Nadine is no. I'm a bit confused here. Yeah. Maybe to Nadine as a funnel manager. It's still not clear, but what?
Okay, for my side, I still nokir apa namanya the problemnya di mana gitu in specifically in reservationnya. Is it nggak terdaftar di bigger or what gitu? Kalau tadi kan hosting ya problemnya
Yeah.
yang tadi di mention.
Betul.
For the reservation, tapi I wasn't aware about ada perbedaan harga tidak termasuk BVV for employee and
Yep.
everything. I wasn't aware about that and belum ada discussion ke situ sih ke aku ya selama
Okay.
ini.
Because this is a very specific case. Let's have some discussion on this. Between the reservation team and also the hosting team, yeah, and also me.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Jing.
Rudy, let me take over the floor for a second. I've noticed that there's some strategic issues that I need to bring up at this point, and I'd like everybody to just listen real carefully, okay? So can we please stop sharing the screen, and then if you see my face, please double click on my window so that my window becomes maximized on your particular screen, okay? Now, a little bit of heads up. I think we're doing a pretty good job, but it's my job as the CEO to fix the vision when I see the vision isn't quite right. This is something that I've noticed has been happening a lot in a lot of squad meetings. And please, just with an open mind, tell me if you tend to agree what's happening here, right? This is the first problem that I'm seeing, okay? Let's go to some of the newest people here to see if they understand what the goals are. Let's go to Jesslyn. Jesslyn, are you clear what's the goal in the guest squad? And are you clear what you need to do in order to achieve that goal?
Sort of.
Okay, sort of, but not very clear, right? Because sort of. Let's go over to, let's see, who else? Tendi. Tendi, are you clear what's the goal in the guest squad? And are you clear what you need to do in order to achieve the goal?
Yeah, on the inspire, delight the guest.
Okay. How many guests are we trying to inspire, delight?
How many guests? All?
There is a specific number. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be very clear. Bayu, are you clear what's the goal? And are you clear what we need to do in order to achieve the goal?
Yeah, there's a lot of tasks, but there's no really converging goal.
Okay, that's the big problem, right? That is problem number one. We're not clear what the big goal is, and we're not clear if we can actually contribute to make progress on that goal. Vidi, break down the big goal for me. What's the big goal?
Right. For now, the focus is 1,800 checkout guests with a better transformation structure compared to the previous semester.
Okay, very good. And what is the breakdown for each transformation level, Vidi?
We just mentioned that it's better transformation structures. Right? So previously,
so
like in this all hands,
right? We don't have numbers on exactly how many unrecognized needs, how many meeting desires, how many meeting expectations. So, okay, this is problem number one. When we get together, we're not clear what the goal is, and we're not clear how each person here can actually contribute to the goal. Let's go to problem number two. Okay, problem number two. Is this meeting for discovering issues, prioritizing, problem solving, or executing. Let's go over to Gray. Gray, should this meeting be for discovering, prioritizing, problem solving, or executing?
I think it's more prioritizing.
Right. What are we spending most of our time doing in this meeting?
Discovering.
And
try to solve it. So it's like a discussion.
Right. We're spending a lot of time problem solving. We spent 20 minutes on just the agent campaign alone. And that doesn't apply to everybody here too as well. So that's another problem that I'm seeing right now. We're spending a lot of time problem solving. Problem solving should be done in sub-discussions as a delegate, okay? Execution should be done as a delegate. Okay, that's problem number 2. Problem number 3. Okay, problem number 3 is who is responsible for analysis? Right now, I just heard Mutia give her explanation for why cancellations are happening. Does Mutia actually have all the answers for this particular analysis, right? What happened to BI? Shouldn't BI be analyzing us when something isn't actually happening correctly, right? That would actually be the correct delegate, I think, to put into who is responsible for analysis when something isn't going right. Okay, so let's put together what I think a meeting should be, okay? In a squad meeting, we should be focusing on what? We should be focusing on discovery and prioritization. We should know what is the issue, what our goals are, how close are we coming to our goals, and what is the real issue that is stopping us from reaching our goals. The rest of this, problem solving and execution, this can be delegated. After it's delegated, we need to have some feedback loop to inspect and make sure that we are actually inspecting this correctly. I don't know if there's a secretary here, but right now Tendi was supposed to do something, and I don't know if that's going to be followed up next week with the guideline that he's working on. So that's the next thing. Okay, so let me give a little bit of context and perhaps show what this could look like instead. This is what I see right now. So we have a vague idea that we need 1,800 guest transformations. We do not know how many transformations we had last week. We do not know how many transformations have currently happened. Fair enough, all right? As a squad, we do not know why. We do not know, is it because we're not doing guest awareness enough? Is it that we're not doing enough services to move people from meeting expectations to meeting desires? We don't know if it's moving people from meeting desires to unrecognized needs. We don't know if we have these particular services, but this gives us a control map of what we should be able to do, right? How? Because let's say we figure out something, right? Let's figure out that we don't have enough unrecognized needs being fulfilled. There's something broken there. Then we can simply go to service number 6. We go, oh, do we not have a tool for maintaining unrecognized needs guests? Do we not have an adoption for that particular process? This is what the benefit of having this type of transformation framework being included in a guest squad discussion will help with. Okay, so what is the next step then in this particular case, right? All right, let's say what is the solution, okay? What does the solution look like? Perhaps a solution could look like this. At the very beginning of a meeting, we start with this report. How did we do last week in transformation? How do we do this week? Which goals did we actually accomplish? Do we transform this level of guest? Do we transform this level of guest? Do we transform the upper level of guest? Let's say, for example, we see, no, we have not transferred the mid-level and we have not transferred the bottom level. So then what do we need to do? We need to understand essentially where the services broke down. We can see, okay, all right, services over here, 1 and 2 are functioning. Service 3 isn't functioning. Service 4 isn't functioning. Service 5 isn't functioning. Services 6 is functioning, 7 is not, 8 is functioning. So we figure out where to prioritize our services. Once we do that, we can then look and say, all right, services 1, 2, 6, and 8 are going. Great. How do we strengthen these services? Well, we have other services that are failing. And then what do we need to do on those? We need to then understand, all right, for the services that are failing, is it a problem of adoption or is it a problem of the tool? Who is responsible for the adoption? Who is responsible for the tool? And so on and so forth. I think if we start having squad meetings more in this order, then we should be able to achieve our goal of being able to discover and prioritize more correctly so that we answer the first question, so that everyone knows what the goal is and what they can actually do to achieve the goal, so that we get the right analysis for understanding if a certain service isn't actually causing this positive transformation, so that we actually spend more time doing what we need to do as a squad. Okay, this is the vision that I've been trying to carry forward in the all hands, and I'm sorry I had to speak kind of strongly about it. But currently, I see that there's a lot of confusion here. Now, give me a review on this one, right? Give me a thumbs up if you think that what I've said makes sense. Give me a thumbs down if you think that what I said doesn't make any sense. Give me a confused sign if you don't know what's going on right now, okay? So please vote with the chat box, and let me get a feel for the room if everyone is either on the same page or on a completely different page. Okay, please vote, please vote. Yeah, don't be shy, just be transparent. Okay, all right, so I see that there's a few people who get it, there's a few people that don't understand. But this, everyone, I think is a direction that we definitely need to take to. There's 20 people in this room, and it's not a good thing if 20 people don't know where the goal is and they don't know how they can contribute to a goal. By isolating the problem down to a particular service, what I'm hoping to do is that everybody then understands, oh, I'm responsible for this service, I create the tools, or I'm responsible for adopting this service. This is on me to be able to change what's happening here so that we can achieve our goals, okay? So I'll be inspecting the other squads. I just happen to be in guest squad today, but I think that it's time that we actually start zooming out a little bit and looking at what we're doing strategically in terms of how we lead a squad. Okay, I'll turn it back to Vidi.
Right. Thank you very much, Sir Jing. Sir Jing, actually, we do have the secretary on also meeting dependency recorded, and that's how we. Sorry, wrong screen. That is how we follow up as well.
Sorry, I might have missed that one, Vidi.
Yep.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay.
These are the list, and we will read it at the end of the meeting for each of the chapter. And
thank you.
But yeah,
Okay,
that's true. We discussed too much about the problem solving, and it should be delegated in the sub discussion. That's correct. And I think that's that for transformation chapter. And we're a bit over time by 7 minutes, but in general, I would like apologies for the PI team and also PD team for the for not being able to report for the progress. But in general, there are some dependency for the awareness chapter. Kagani to follow up with discussion with the list to discuss regarding the tool and the adoption issue during awareness chapter scrum. And in the conversion chapter, we have Nadine to create a Trello card for transfer guests from OTA to direct booking. And also great to follow up with Nadia regarding duplicated data. On transformation chapter, we have the dependency of Katendi SLA evaluation as proposed by BI. What SLA from BI to propose? This is on the guest repeater side. And to follow up and make sure the guideline on cancellation is settled. From technology side, we have two dependency. One from Nadia to follow up on the positive review not showing on Redash, and to put backlogs off for awareness live chat feature to include phone number. Okay, so that's the dependency for today. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I will stop recording.